Alrighty, cool. All right, that's up. We got a new whole new format here on Restream that I'm still trying to get adjusted to. As you can tell, for the back screen, the backdraft is, or backdrop, if you want to call it, is completely different, and our screen sizes are a little bit different too, which I kind of like. See a little bit more of Matt Boyle's pretty face with his mustache going on there, looking really slick there, buddy. Hey everybody, it's been a while. It's been two, 3 weeks since I've seen you guys. Well, you know, things happen, things change. It was never a guarantee. It was always going to be every Thursday, but I tell you what we got going on here is we're back tonight. Matt Boyle sent me some yummies. Good. Some good stuff. All right. Some good stuff that we're going to be doing tonight. We're talking with Matt Boyle, and if you don't know who he is, you should know who he is. He's one of the owners, operators of Stryker Airsoft Industries, Stryker Events, and he's one of the main cheeses for MILSIM 6 and Op Tiger's Cage coming up. And MILSIM 6 is only like, 3 weeks away, just a tad over 3 weeks away. I'm sure Matt's stoked about that. He's got plenty of information.
It's 3 weeks away. It's coming up quick.
Yeah, it's coming up really quick, but he's got good news tonight. He's got more good news. He's got all kinds of cool stuff he's going to tell you guys tonight. I personally just want to get this out because I'll probably forget at the end to just go ahead and announce that this will be the last RC Airsoft Thursday live cast. It's transitioning over to Grey Wolf Airsoft Thursday night live cast. I haven't decided if I'm just going to call it Grey Wolf Airsoft. I don't know, but transitioning over to that to formulate over there because Grey Wolf's going to be using the channel a lot in the near future. And I decided, hey, I'm part of Grey Wolf, so we might as well just do that. So it's still going to be the same pretty faces you see all the time when you come on these come and watch us on these Thursday night live casts. But it's just going to basically just be called something different, is all it's going to be. And hopefully we'll be picking up the crowd from Grey Wolf too, because there's quite a following of Grey Wolf. And bring in some more people, have more questions, make them more entertaining. And you know what? This year, 2024, I'm excited. I'm going to try to make it some really good topics coming up. But tonight, super excited because if you've been there, you've been there. You've been to many MILSIMs or you've been to one of Matt's events, to Stryker Airsoft events. You know they got a lot of great quality, they got a lot of exciting stuff. They do. They're not only are they great people, but their events are different in little meticulous ways that make them special, and something like that. Anyway, and yep, I'm jumping on. I'm getting all kinds of stuff. Good, we're getting some people on. Awesome, good to see everybody. I'm going to get into the hellos and how are yous here real quick, but I got to introduce him. I've been talking about him. There he is, the man himself, Matt Boyle. So he's the information. I'm RC Ron, just in case you guys didn't know that. I always forget to tell people who I am. Maybe I should just put a sign right here that says my RC Ron, and then I don't have to worry about remembering anymore. And I'm a little bit out of practice because right there before I stopped coming on for a couple weeks, I was getting good at remembering to announce everything. So it's really good exciting to see everybody. Let's see here. I'm going to switch it over to Matt after I check the chat. Say hellos. Hey, Ryan, Mr. Ambler. Cobra Company here, huh? All right, Cobra Company's in the house. Hello, Mrs. Tingle. Hello. So that is, Cobra Company. How many companies are there for MILSIM 6? Is there 3 aside, 2 aside?
Yeah, so there's 3 aside, and there will always be 3 aside.
Okay.
I'm going to segue right in, Ron. So
you are? He's segueing.
Huh?
Yeah, he's segueing. You're fine. I got you. I'm just checking these other ones.
No, you're good. So we wanted to keep the same 3 companies no matter how big the event got because we want those companies to sort of develop their own culture and play style and just to give the players not only the faction that they're a part of, but even the company that they're a part of. So even Cobra has started to develop their own identity with every live stream they come on, and they put the hissing snake on every single live stream, no matter.
They're
what.
The snakes. Those are the guys that are the snakes.
They're those snakes or those dragons?
There they are. Aiden Richardson put them up. They're every one. That's awesome. That's cool, man. Very good.
There's 3. So there's Ranger Company for Coalition, which is the Green Company or the Green Fiend team. You've got Ranger Company, Cobra Company, and Dragon Company. And then for the Alliance, which is the tan faction, you have Delta Company, Iron Company, and then the Militia Company for the Mini MILSIM series specifically. And
Love it.
The company in there because it's Mini MILSIM. A lot of people who want to do big MILSIMs but don't know whether they're going to do that or not. They don't have a camo kit, or maybe they just have a camo top or just a camo. Get into the game even though they don't have brick uniforms per se for a larger scale event, just to see if they like it or not.
Gotcha. Oh, there's two different kinds of snakes. Wait a minute, is Aiden, did you put up a snake or a dragon? That's a dragon.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like a kid's, it's very hard to tell. It is green and it's long. It's like Chinese.
Whatever it works.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Yes, so I'm hoping people are bringing questions tonight. Yes, Donna Tingle can't wait for Mini MILSIM 6. It's going to be super exciting. I didn't know if you wanted to go ahead and tell people any information about the tickets or what's going on. We didn't get a chance since both of us jumped on here at the last minute because I just got in from work about 45 minutes ago. So I didn't know what information you're relaying. I'm going to keep that picture ready for you, and I'll just let you.
I'm winging it from the hip today. So I know what's going on, so I'm just going to talk about it. And the other thing is a lot of people that come to the events, they just come to these because they want to hang out with me and you and whoever else is going to be in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's probably about 90% of them. That's 90% of them.
But we do put out some good stuff. People who've known me for a while know that whenever I do a live stream, I always let something out that's not going to be on the op boards, that's not going to be announced, so that only the people that watch the live stream actually get to know about it.
Right.
But as far as the tickets go, we actually just sold out an hour and a half ago. So we've completely sold out. Now, with that, I've already had today 4 different teams reach out to me and say, hey, so-and-so didn't get in, so-and-so didn't get in, so-and-so didn't get in. First off, get your tickets earlier next time. Second off...
That was nice mean. That was a mean nice. That was nice mean. Yeah. That's what it was.
Here, there's the honey and the hatchet. That was the hatchet. Now it's the honey. We're not doing a second round. What I did for those people, and hopefully those of you who are here are going to pay attention to this, because the people who are here at the live stream, there's a reason I'm saying it at the live stream before I announce it, so that those who are more involved with the event have a chance to get to them first. Right now, there are 5 more tickets for every company available at this moment. And I'm not going to say anything until tomorrow, so that the players who are really, really into Mini MILSIM and they know that their friends slacked off and missed their ticket purchase, you guys can go and get your chance to actually go and get that ticket, because we have no intentions of doing a second ticket launch. This was it. This is just to get the last few guys who maybe missed the boat, but there is no extra 25 tickets coming next week. There's no 50 tickets coming next week. This was it. So those 5 tickets for all 6 companies, those are the last tickets. There will be no more tickets after that, no matter how well you beg. There will be no more.
So they're open. They're open now.
Right.
They're open. They're open now. They will be open.
They're open right now.
All right. So let me show that on the ticker. There you go. 10 green is sold out, but 5 more tickets have been opened up for each side, and that's it. Kaput. 9. Nither. Nothing after that at all for tickets. So if you missed out, you missed out. That's sad.
And the thing is that you could say, oh well, everybody wants to come to Mini MILSIM, and you guys could make a lot more money if you just released an unlimited amount of tickets. But in my opinion, there is a certain number of players that can be on an AO and it still be fun. It is no fun to get on an AO and for you and all 30 of your closest friends to be running down the same 30-foot span of anything, indoor, outdoor, it doesn't matter, and not be able to maneuver or even to move up.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got. I mean,
can't. If the event is not designed where you go ahead, I'll let you speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm just waiting for. I mean, I thought you were paused. No, absolutely. You got to be responsible. Stryker Airsoft has always been. They're always worried about player enjoyment I mean, they're not a money-hungry company that's going to say, "Oh, I could sell another 100 tickets," and then, well, that's another 100 bodies on the field that you're going to be bouncing off like you're playing pinball or something, and that
Yeah.
takes away the enjoyment. That takes away the effect, especially since it's a mini milsim for new and experienced players. And if you got a new player, especially a young new player, and they're just seeing people everywhere, it's going to be overwhelming. That's not the point of a mini milsim. So I completely understand what you're doing there, sir. I do.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there's a certain point where if you as an individual player, because at the end of the day we all buy these tickets so that we can be Superman for the weekend, and if you don't have the ability to do that, you didn't pay $65 to be a cog in the machine at the mini Milsim meat grinder essentially. If
Mm-hmm.
you can't take an engagement and win that engagement and then say, wow, we won that engagement, now we can go over here and do this other thing. There's not three more squads behind that squad that we got to go through.
Oh, yeah, that can make it a real pain in the ass. I understand, especially in
That's
restricted
where the
area.
actual fun of the event comes from. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And when you take an engagement, it should
Absolutely.
matter.
Absolutely.
When you hit another player, it should matter. There shouldn't be five players behind that player to take their spot, and then you can't go anywhere. Like that's what feels good. Even if it's 5-on-5, you take out those five guys. Oh, we opened the flank. Now we can all go around the flank. You change the whole thing of the game. Everybody can
Right.
change the game even as an individual.
Yep. Yep. I completely agree. You're going to make sure that the people that were able to get their tickets, they're going to have a good time. And I mean, as usual. And if anybody was at here that was, or watching later on, it was at Mini Milsim 5, dude, I heard nothing but great stories about it. I mean, I went out on the field too. I usually don't because I'm usually busy, but I went out there and I saw the intensity and the excitement. And yeah, and there's some really tired people because some people really put their all into it. But that's what makes it exciting. And the mini milsims have grown from just a little creative idea to now something that is well known, especially in the southeastern United States. And unfortunately, he's it really depends on the field he picks or the parameters he's trying to work with. There is going to be a limit on tickets. I do know that if I've seen some companies some production companies that have massive fields and they say it's going to be like 500, and then you hear they open up another 75 per side. That's because they got the space or they're okay to handle that and make sure that the players still have a good time. And that's what Mr. Boyle's really worried about. So kudos to everybody else. Maybe we might want to take a moment of silence for the people who missed out on tickets, but maybe we'll just do that later. But if you're interested, and keep an eye out on the Facebook pages. Because every once in a while, people say, "Oh, I got a 10 ticket. I got to sell it, guys. Sorry, I won the lottery and I want to go overseas or something. I don't know, who knows."
Yeah.
And just keep an eye on the Facebook pages because that's where you might be able to grab a ticket that somebody's trying to give up.
Yeah, almost always there'll be people the week of who are like, "Hey,
Oh yeah.
we can't go anymore. I got to sell my tickets." However, you need to be careful because in the last 3 years, it never happened before this, but in the last 3 years, it seems got really bad. The Facebook bots see somebody is selling tickets, bots know immediately, and they start saying that they're selling tickets. So do not buy anyone's ticket unless they know what faction they're a part of, they know what company they're a part of, and they have the confirmation email. Because what they do is they say, "I have a ticket for sale. What are you willing to pay for it?" And if you ask them any questions about the event, they have no idea what's going on. So do not get scammed.
Yeah. The confirmation.
We've had people being scammed before. Just make sure you know who you're buying it from and what's going on with that.
Right. The confirmation email is really key there. Absolutely. Yeah. Just double check. He keeps freezing every once in a while. That's just because I guess he's a little bit of glitchy internet, but he's still coming around good. You just freeze every once in a while. You're like, and then I was doing this and that. I mean, that's exactly what you're doing.
You're doing the same thing to me. It's got to be my internet.
It's all good.
It's from the 80s. It's all hardwired.
All right, well, tell us some more. I know you got some more because you sent me a messenger pic to put up there, but maybe you're not ready for that. I just know you got more to tell us. What do we got?
Well, first off, I don't know what's going on. I just got a message on our official page. I don't know if this has been an issue, but I'm not inviting anyone to the planning pages. I don't know what's going on. It's not me.
Oh, I got multiple invites from you.
Yeah, anyone who's getting invites from Stryker Airsoft, we're not sending those invites. Those are player-run groups. I have no interest in inviting players. I don't know what's going on.
Didn't you just say something about Facebook bots? Who
No, but
knows,
everybody's
man?
saying it's coming from our page. Like, I just got a message just now from somebody saying, "Hey, I don't want to be rude, but stop sending me invites to your planning page. I'm not going to your event."
That's got to be some hack,
I
man.
don't know
That's
what's
some
going
hack.
on.
That's stupid.
But,
Sometimes people
yeah.
suck.
But about the
Sometimes
event,
people suck, man.
we've kind of mastered our core gameplay, which is our territory control system, where you have to run the supplies out to the territories.
Right?
We've kind of mastered that, which that's like the bedrock of mini MILSIM, and it keeps the game going no matter what happens.
Right.
But so for this one, we're trying to get a lot more in depth with the fragos.
Right.
I've got a lot more staff now who've been with me for multiple events. Mini MILSIM 5 was our very first event as a company and not just as me as an individual putting on an event. So now we've had 2 or 3 events now where we've had staff who are now longtime staff who've been with us that we can have help run the game. So what that's going to do is that's going to free myself and the upper staff up to actually execute on these fragos, because it always came down to, we've got these great ideas and we write them all out and we've got the props for them, but if I'm dealing with 2 players arguing, or if I'm having to explain something to somebody, or if I'm just on the other end of the field, I can't be where the fragos need to be. So for this event, we're really putting a lot of emphasis on making sure those fragos actually happen. We've got a whole list of them. There will be a frago every single hour. Every single frago is different. Every single frago has its own prop that it's using that's not in the op boards that you guys will have to react to on the fly. So there will be a lot more going on, because that was one thing. Mini MILSIM 5 went great. I heard lots of great things about Mini MILSIM 5, but personally, I didn't like the way that the frago situation played out, because the core gameplay was great, but I'm not trying to put on a game that's just a set piece domination match and then I let everybody run out there. Like, I want it to feel like a big event. So I need there to be things going on. We got fragos with mortars. We got fragos with running supplies. We got still those biohazard suits that I know we didn't get to use at Castleback. Hopefully we'll get to use them here. We got something that Pops is going to like, that he definitely gave me the idea for. We're going to be running communication wire from the fob to the territories, and the engineers who are going to be in charge of that are going to have one hell of a task, because the territory pieces are at least 500 or more feet from each other. So they're going to have to run these lines from territory flag to territory flag and main. So there's going to be a lot more going on for this event than we had at MILSIM 5.
That's crazy. That's cool, man. I like that. You got some questions there. There were the 5 tickets. Is that just per faction or per company?
So it's per company.
Okay.
Because we want to make sure that the companies get to stay together. So we try our best to make sure that when we do release more tickets, it's for every single company. So that way teams who have friends in that company can stay with that company. And it also makes it easier for the commanders. Because at the end of the day, if the commanders can't be organized and the commanders don't have the ability to wrangle all of you, stray cats up, then the game can kind of get out of control. So that's something that I've always tried to do at my games. I try to empower my commanders as much as possible. The players running the game is much better than an admin running the game, in my opinion, because it makes it more authentic.
Okay. A couple shout outs. Mr. King, thanks for coming on, sir. We already noticed Aiden's on here. Bill's on. Cool. There's Mr. Barlow. Awesome. Great. Good questions. See. Somebody loves you, Matt. Mr. Skyler loves you. And Andrew blames Matt Linder for everything.
We can all blame Linder for everything. Even the good stuff, but definitely the bad stuff. I never do anything wrong. It's always
so you call him Parmesan. That's weird. Okay.
Parmesan guys.
Is it Parmesan? Oh, it is. Parmesan. Okay. Dude, my eyesight sucks. I mean, really, bifocals, I have to look like that. I saw the PRM and an N at the end and assumed.
I'm pretty sure it is Parmesan. I'm just saying it's pronounced Parmesan.
Okay, it does, actually. So anyway, very cool. So just to recap real quick, 5 tickets have opened up per company per side. That will be it. Because we got people jumping on and on. That's it. Tickets are sold out except for the 5 per company, and once those are gone, they're gone. There is no more surprise tickets later on. So if you haven't gotten any, you say, well, I'll wait till the end. There's always tickets available. Absolutely not. We're 3 weeks out and we sold out, or they sold out. So there you go. Whew, that's really good. And he's talking about the improvements, the focuses so far. If you haven't caught up to it at this point, go ahead and do that, rewind, and check back out. And back to you, Mr. Boyle.
If you want, you can pull up the map that I sent if you've got it ready.
Oh, absolutely.
Bill, can you confirm Multicam Black is the go for green team? Yes. So this is only for our mini MILSIM games. We allow Multicam Black and Black uniform to be the green faction, and then billions are on the faction.
That's as big as I can make it. That's stupid. Unless you need me to zoom in. See if I can.
I can hear myself.
Oh, I can fix that. 1 second. That's my bad.
Everybody quiet while Ron fixes it.
That's my mistake. My bad. I just get to start pushing buttons, see what happens. There we go. You shouldn't be able to hear yourself now. So, there we go.
But yeah, so there's the map. It's a very dynamic field. It has main roads, kind of like Wayne's World does. And then it also has a this like stream that runs through it. That sometimes it's dry and sometimes it's full of water. But that's what that blue dotted line is. And then
Oops,
on the stream, there's me. There's me in North
Carolina. My bad. I clicked my shift button on my mouse and that flips through pictures. My bad. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to zoom in what you talk about. Just give me a second. There you go.
Good.
Raco Creek.
Yeah, so there's a little stream right there that goes through the field, and the white boxes are actually bridges. So I'm excited to see how the bridges play out. Hopefully, they'll be a very dynamic part of the game.
Yeah, that's cool.
You got green HQ there on the bottom. You've got tan HQ there on the top. For this game, it's going to be a little bit different with the fobs because we're going to just try something different. So the HQs are not in combat. You have to keep your iPro on when you're at the HQ just for safety reasons, but your HQ is sort of like your regrouping area. So if you're like, okay, I need a break, but I don't want to leave the game, I'm going to go to my HQ, I'm going to hang out. So that's going to be your respawn point, and that's going to be the only respawn point in the whole game.
Oh boy.
5 tickets per faction. So they're back on the ticket sale page on the Stryker Airsoft website under the events tab. It's just that we refilled the number of stock tickets, so now there's 5 more tickets for each one of the companies. So all you need to do is get the ticket the same way that you did it the first time. Just go onto the Stryker events website, just click the ticket you want, press purchase, and then you'll get it. So pretty straightforward. Yeah, the HQs are not going to be in play, quote unquote. You'll have to keep your iPro on there, but they're not going to be attackable with a fob. It's not going to be set up. It's just going to be in pieces because for mini MILSIM, as those who went to the last one know, the fob is built by your team's engineers. So it's going to be made up of several different pieces that have to be there when you put up the tent and construct the fob. The fob is not a respawn point. It's only a reloading spot, an objective capture zone, and a place where you can come and take off your tourniquets. So you can come and get your bandages off there, but you can't respawn. And the reason for that is because we're going to let the fob go wherever it wants at any given point. So the commanders, for the most part, will probably be at their fobs, but they have the ability to move around their fob from place to place. So if the fob is at the landing site at one point and then the green team starts winning, they can push their fob up to the fire base. They can't respawn there, but it gives them more of like literally a forward operating base that they can operate out of and be command and control and that kind of stuff. But since both of the fobs are in play, they are completely attackable. They can be stolen down to the very last thing, and then the fob is just gone for the rest of the game, and that team loses that strategic advantage.
Oof.
So as far as the respawns are concerned, we're doing that for this time. And the other reason we're doing that is because the field is big, but it's big in a way that if we allowed there to be respawns like out on the field, we made the decision that in order to make the gameplay better, we're not just going to have a respawn like all the way up the fire base because that'd be crazy. So that's the other reason that we're not doing that. But I think it'll bring a lot more dynamics to the game. It'll also allow your COs to put themselves and your XOs to put themselves in a more forward position. And you can actually take the fob at that point. It's not going to be something where you're like, oh, well, the fob's way in the back. We're never going to see it. It is what it is. But it'll be a lot more fun to have the fob that way. And it'll give the engineers more stuff to do. But this time the engineers are going to be very busy. So moving the fob will probably be like the last thing on their to-do list. And for those who aren't familiar with the class system for Mini MILSIM, I know a lot of people on here have been to the Mini MILSIMs and they know. We're bringing back all the same classes. You get your assault class, which is carrying all the grenades. If you're able to actually get the grenades, you've got your support class, which carries all of your team's ammo and can get more points for bringing back objectives. And they can also carry as many magazines as they want. So they're kind of like the linebackers of your squad. They're carrying all of your shit, and they're there to support the team, hence the support class. You've got your regular medic class where you can revive people, and the medics are the only people who move people. So nobody else can move anybody except for the medics. And when they move people, they actually have to get them under their arm and actually move them. We're as a company, as an event company, we are getting away from the whole, all right, I've grabbed him by the wrist, and now we're going to run away because I'm grabbing him by the wrist. We're not going to be doing that anymore. If you're going to move a wounded player, they are wounded. They do not have the ability to self-propel. You are going to have to get them up on their feet and carry them away, not hold their little pinky and then they can both run. We're completely getting rid of that. And that's both because it'll make the game better and it's just frankly ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Make sure I want to jump in on that. Make sure to be explicit in your explanatory in your rule book or in your safety brief, wherever you're going to put it. That if people have to be, or prefer to be dragged, or if people want to drag somebody, you have to ask the person if they can be dragged. Because some people have physical issues, or their equipment. They know their equipment can't handle being grabbed and dragged, so they should have to be able to refuse to be dragged. It's just a safety thing and convenience.
Yeah, you can refuse to be dragged, and what I'm saying is you don't literally have to drag people, but you will have to get their arm fully over your shoulder, and then you can take them somewhere. What we're trying to avoid is, I see it in a lot of games. It frustrates me personally because in my belief it violates what the spirit of the game is supposed to be. If there is a wounded player on the other side of the cover that you're at, you should not be able to reach your arm around the cover, grab him by the wrist and say, okay, I'm pulling you. And then he stands up by himself, comes around the cover, sits down next to you and says, okay, now you can medic me. And that shouldn't be how it is gameplay wise. It should be what it is supposed to be, which is, okay, I have to go around the cover, get him up on his feet, and then I'll take him back behind the cover. And I think honestly it'll make the gameplay better, and it'll make the medic rules more fair, because there's a mechanical reason to it too. A medic shouldn't be able to positions because it affects the gameplay, and anything that affects gameplay is subject to being tweaked. So that's the other reason we're doing this, other than the fact that it's just outright ridiculous. Gotcha. So that's the medic class. The last thing that medics can do at Mini MILSIM, which is different than I think every other event I've ever been to, is we have what's called triage system, where if in real life you got to somebody and their head's gone, you're not going to start medicing them; they're dead. So if you're a medic and you come across a player who has already used their bandage and they say, "Hey man, I'm toast," the medic can go up to that player and say, "I'm pronouncing you dead." Like, that player's dead on the spot. That player who has been pronounced dead no longer has to wait their bleed out. They can just get up and they can leave.
Okay.
So if the medic wants to come and get a squad back and say, you're dead, I can't save you, that whole squad can get back up and get back in the fight 2 or 3 minutes sooner than they would have otherwise if they were bleeding out.
Right, because then they can walk back to fob or whatever and respawn. Okay, I got you. Pretty cool. Never heard of that. New idea. Go for it.
And you'd be checking on everybody anyway. You wouldn't not check on people, unless their head was gone, and you probably would let them be.
Awesome. So
and then the last.
Go ahead. You're cutting out.
The last class is the engineer class, and incredibly pivotal to the whole event because the engineers are the only ones that can interact with certain objectives. So it doesn't matter if your whole platoon's there. If you don't have an engineer to operate those specific objectives, and those would be certain fragos will need engineers, certain objectives that are already on the field will need engineers, the ammo crates that are on the field will need engineers. If you don't have one, you need to go get one because you have to have an engineer to interact with those objectives. It does a couple of things for the gameplay. It does make it more variety of stuff. Not everybody can do everything. Not everybody's a super soldier, but it builds into the game something that I've always wanted in mini MILSIM and just MILSIM in general, which is it forces players to interact with each other. Because at the end of the day, we're all out there to shoot each other with plastic BBs, but we're also out there to interact with each other and have an experience with other players that we don't even know. So if you're there by yourself and you're like, I don't have anybody to run with, but I still want to make a difference, play engineer, attach yourself to a squad, bam, you've got 12 friends that you never had before. You're going to be integral to everything that they're doing. And it's harder to go to the event and be like, man, I don't know anybody. I guess I'll just kind of wander around. And then you just get left behind because it's like, all right, we're going and doing this. And they're all gone. And now you're just by yourself. No matter who you are, it builds you into being an integral piece into every single unit that's on the field.
Absolutely. All right, we got a question here. Says I'm not sure what it means. You're using the Ares Alpha Triage system. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if you do.
So we're not using the Ares Alpha Triage system.
Okay. And also we have here.
This will be the first time. I guess I can talk into it. This one. We changed the medic rules, moving people.
He's just suggesting you re-announce it at the event. That's all, which is smart.
Yeah, we're gonna go over it. There are certain things that no matter how many times we write them down, we're gonna talk about it again.
Right.
Like they're like you can't shoot through a hole that you can't fit your head through. We always have to talk about that. We'll talk about the medic rules. We'll talk about reloading on the field and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
We don't go into detail about like every single little thing, but we'll hit most of the stuff that we know players kind of, I guess, quote unquote, struggle with keeping it in their head. But yeah, we will on that game.
Okay. Very
as far
cool.
as the Ares Alpha Triage system, Ares Alpha is an app that I've heard a lot about, and so I looked into it and I was like, this is really, really cool. So you download it on your phone, and this is the first time Stryker Events is using it, so there might be a couple of hiccups. But I think it's a great tool, and I want to be able to use it, and I really think it'll enhance the game for everybody, so I want to give it a try. But at the check-in, we're going to have the QR code that you scan for the app, and you'll be able to see yourself, and depending on how the hierarchy is set up as far as the commanders, you should be able to see everybody at minimum in your company and probably in your faction on your phone in real time on Google Earth satellite. So you can actually see all the players on the field and where everybody is and what's going on. And if it goes well, we're going to buy some Ares Alpha props that actually interact with the app and with the Google Earth satellite, so that in future games it'll be a lot cooler. You'll actually see the section that you control turn red, and you'll know that you control it.
Gotcha.
But they have a lot of stuff in that app, and right now we're just trying to use the map, so we're not going to have any of their fancy other shit that they've got going on. It's just going to be the absolute bare minimum to see if we can even do it. Because we might show up on game day, and everybody's like, yeah, we love the app. Then they scan the QR code, and they go, oh shit, I don't have cell service. Oh, I don't want to use my phone on the field. And then we say, okay, well, we'll scrap it. But in the future, we may use it for more things because it has a lot of really cool stuff in the app. But one step at a time.
I got a question from Mr. Drew Tingle about the EMR battle rifles.
So it's going to be by the, to be quite frank, there are some DMRs or battle rifles that may overlap. And we're going to use the tag system just like every event company does. And we're going to have people with chronographs on the field and everything. The reason that we've done it that way is because there are people who run a heavier class of rifle. Linder's a famous example. He runs a Scar H. So his mags are bigger, his weapon's heavier. we want to be able to give those players who are doing that and are probably in the back anyway a little bit more oomph to their guns. DMR. They're still probably going to get stuck in with everybody else, but they're not going to be breachers or anything like that. So we've come out with this little middle ground class as far as the way that the class is designed for weapons. But it's going to be one of those things where we're going to have to be on top of it as refs. We're going to have to very clearly mark everybody with their tagging system. And it's kind of like LMGs. It's the whole... We had it for 2 games now, and it's gone pretty well. If we find that we have issues with it, we will, tweak and adjust it just like we do with everything else. But so far, it's been fine. A good example of that is the M27. I got talked into letting the M27 be an LMG for one event, and I was like, all right, we'll see how it goes. And we did have that issue where people were like, that M4 over there is going full auto. This is bullshit. He's cheating. And it's because of that. At the end of the day, you don't need – let the referee. You don't need to referee that fucking player over there. He needs to play his game. You need to play your game. You take care of yourself. He'll take care of himself. If you have a problem with a player or with his weapon or anything like that, go grab an admin. We are not playing games no more. We ain't taking people's names and telling them to keep playing. We are at the point now we're at Cassavac. And the fact of the matter is, just for real talk, for everybody right now on the live stream, all 15 of you, we have a duty to the players to maintain the integrity of the game. And if you are a violation or a threat to the integrity of the game, your ass is gone. And we can't be as lenient as we used to be when it was just me as a one-man show, and I used to try and be everybody's friend and everything like that, because you might be one guy saying, oh, well, I was just a little bit hot or whatever. Oh, I didn't feel that hit. But you're now affecting everybody's game around you who is following the rules. And you're affecting me because now I can't go out and put fragos out for everybody, which is what ended up happening at Cassavac. So we're not putting it up with it anymore. Like I said, we've got some really strong refs coming and doing this for the 3rd, 4th time. We've got people who are going to be in, I guess, like intermediate ref roles where they're going to be like head ref or senior ref or that kind of stuff. So don't even worry about it. Our rules are going to be our rules. You better fucking read the rules, because we are going to be enforcing rules. And I didn't read the rules is not going to be a good enough excuse. You are going to find yourself in your car and heading home very quickly. Because at the end of the day, there are 200 players that read the rules and are playing the game right, and they paid to be at that game. And we're going to let them keep playing the game because they're doing everything that they're supposed to be doing.
Sounds great, man. I like that. Sounds great. And I think you've caught up on all the questions here. I like everything you've been saying, man. Looks like you're getting a lot of positive responses from people about that. Awesome. So maybe MILSIM 6. Are you finishing up on that? Because I think there's something else you want to talk about tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a little thing that we're doing. Those of us who remember Mini MILSIM 5 know that at that time we had planned to go to GTI for our first out-of-state event, and that didn't work out. At the end of the day, I serve at the leisure of the players, and the players reached out to me and said, listen, Matt, we love you, but we're not going back to GTI because we're there 4 or 5 times a year, and we are donezo. We don't want to go back one more time. And I said, all right, we scrapped the event. We ended up doing Cassavac. But we really want to go out of state. I was invited twice to it was first ATE and then New Breed, to go to an event at Big Indian Paintball in Georgia. And the very first time I went to the field, absolutely fell in love with the field. It's an amazing field, one of the best fields I've ever been to playing Airsoft. They got everything. They got big buildings, small buildings, trenches. They got a whole. I go on forever, but I'm not going to. But I fell in love with the field, and I was like, I'm going to do an event here one day, because this field is perfect. And I already knew what I wanted to do because of the way the field is laid out. There's like a mile stretch of field. At the bottom of the hill is landing craft, and at the top of the hill is bunkers. And all the way through, there's trenches and bunkers and trenches and bunkers. I was like, we are going to have an assault game here. We are going to have a dedicated attack, defend, MILSIM style game here one day. And 2 years later, here we are. We're trying it. It's our first game out of state. We are going to do it. I don't care if 10 people do the game. And it's going to be great. We're going to do specifically, like I said, attackers and defenders. Green is attacking, tan is defending. We're going to be doing it a little different because we want it to be like an experience for the players, almost like a large scale tier 1 event. So myself and Linder are going to be the COs, and we're going to be in contact with each other, and we're going to gauge the game as it goes. And we're both going to be trying to win, but we can both see what's going on in the combat, and we can set up flanks, and we can set up patrols, and we can do all kinds of stuff, and we can make sure that the fragos and the assaults happen at certain times. We can time wave attacks with smoke that will be deployed. Linder can have his players fall back and regroup, and I can have my players do the same thing at the same time. So it'll be a really, really cool experience for everybody, and it's going to be like, I think, 8 or 9 hours straight. So I'm really excited for that. That's Operation Tiger's Cage, which is going to be in Perry, Georgia. It's actually a stone throw away from the Guardian Center. So those of you that have been to Guardian know how to get there. And we're just going to have
one off ramp before Guardian Center.
Yeah.
When you're heading north.
Hell, like, honestly, you got to go for the field. You think you've played Airsoft. You have not played Airsoft until you've been to this field. I don't say that lightly. Like, I love Wasteland. I love Wayne's World. I love Black Tiger. Played at all of them. This place is crazy. And I don't know why, but it's not very well known. I think it was because it was at one point, it was more of a paintball field than anything, but they're starting to slowly get way more into Airsoft than paintball. But I think this place is going to explode. It's going to be on the map everywhere. I think it's going to be like the Wayne's World, Georgia. I think there's going to be events there like 3 or 4 times a year once it gets off the ground. So I'm really excited to go there and actually get it started.
Yeah, you can't go 100 feet without something changing. Something's always the terrain, there's a building, there's a path. Yeah, it's a Bill.
Bill's over here. He's trying to make me money. Look at this guy. I appreciate him. Yes, we have a night game for Mini MILSIM 6, and if you ain't been to the night game, you don't even know. So we've had the night raid mission, I think, for 3 Mini MILSIMs now. And it is completely separate from the regular event. It is its own thing. It is not Mini MILSIM. It is the legit shit. If you're showing up to the night game, you better be ready to rock and roll because you are going to be put to the test. The players, it doesn't matter what your uniform is, you're all in the same unit. It's kind of like, I hate to say watered down because it is in some ways and it isn't in other ways. It's kind of like a watered down version of the tier 1 that a lot of other event companies do. All the players are on the same team. We have dedicated Op 4, and they're acting as the Call of Duty bad guys. And for 2.5 hours, those players are on the field. They're completing missions. They cannot leave the field. If they die on the field, they are done for the night raid. They can be medics, but if they run out of bandages, they are kaputs. They will be walked off the field. I'm sorry, you didn't make it through the mission. And that's just what it is. It's as hardcore as we can possibly make it. There's not going to be any ammo refills. We're not going to let you off the field to get another battery. We're not going to let you off the field to get any more water. If we need to give you more water, we will at the base that you're operating out of, because those players will be operating out of a fire base. But you better be ready to rock and roll. And Bill here is reminding me of this because he's part of the Op 4 team, and they are stoked. They are going to have all their tracers out. My understanding is that they've got thermals and night vision. They're going to have all this white light. They're going to put on a great show. So the players who actually do the night raid are going to – I don't know if anybody in the chat was at MILSIM 5's night raid, but that was pretty cool. We're trying to make it even more fighty. Too many people survived Mini MILSIM 5. Y'all ain't going to survive this time. At least half of you. That's my goal, is to get at least half the players killed this time. Because last time I think we only killed off like 20 or 30%. This time, at minimum, half the players I'm hoping are going to be dead. Unless they're really good, they'll put me to shame. We'll see.
Very cool. Very cool. So yes, Tiger's Cage. It's a siege event, and the mats are COing each side, and they're controlling the flow. And it's kind of, I mean, I'm sure there's been other event producers that have done siege events, but I can't really recollect one that I've heard of locally that was a big one, at least with anybody I knew or any producer I knew. So it's going to be very entertaining. to do this, especially with the type of field the Big Indian paintball is. It changes constantly. Your terrain is challenging for anybody. I don't care if you're healthy or not. You can go slow, you can go fast, but even if you're healthy and want to go fast, you're going to wear yourself out. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, a man can only walk up a 30-degree hill for so long. And still enjoy himself.
It's not all hills. Don't be scared away from it. No, it flattens out. Just every once in a while has inclines because the field, the back of the field is basically higher than the front of the field. But it's not constantly like, oh, I'm climbing Mount Everest here. No, it goes up and down. There's trenches, there's buildings, there's dense woods, there's light woods, there's pathways, there's roadways, there's low bog areas where it actually gets wet during the wet season. Or actually, I guess every once in a while, every year or so, or 2 years or whatever, it actually fills with a little bit of water. But so there's low areas. Really entertaining. It's and of course it's been around for a long time, so you're gonna see a lot of cool stuff out there. Very cool. And it's just off 95, one exit before Guardian Center. I've been there twice now. It's always worth it. In fact, the guy who runs it is a really, really super guy, and the locals, the regulars there, wonderful people. It's a great atmosphere. It really is. I mean, it's just, if anything, go up there just for the experience. You're going to have a great time. I'm really looking forward. What else you got to tell us about Tiger? Are the tickets released?
I don't want to give too much away about it just because we're not trying to make it. It's going to be a different experience than any MILSIM. It's going to be a different experience.
Well, obviously, yeah.
We're not trying to set it up as we're not trying to set it up as like a game that you go and we are going to win. We are going to win this game. There's going to be war crimes, points, and all of this stuff. We want players to honestly show up with next to no information about what's going to happen without there being a general outline. Be like, this is the plan. These are the basic objectives. We need to take Hill 351. From Hill 351, we have 3 bunkers in a chain that we have to take. After that, we will then destroy the anti-air guns at these 3 positions. Following that, we will go deployment and order battle. But nothing crazy to where it's like, okay, at this time this is going to happen, and at this time this is going to happen, and these people will do these things, because we're trying to, and we've done it with many MILSIM now, and I think we've done it pretty well. I want to distill the experience that everybody that ever played a World War II video game had when they're in the lander and they're going up to Normandy, and it drops. The front of the lander drops, and they run out onto the beach, and they're like, oh my God, everything's happening. Got to get the next thing done. One more thing. That's the kind of experience we want to have for the attackers. And then for the defenders, that's a whole different ballgame. Honestly, having the defenders get their experience the way that we want it is the harder thing, because attackers, it's very straightforward. Defenders, we want them to be running ammo, running water, sitting in foxholes. The enemy will be coming, but there will be times where they're not coming, and you cannot leave your foxhole. So your commander will be like, I need you to create a line of fire here in this trench. We don't know when, so you'll be in the trench and you'll be waiting. And since I'll be the attacking CO, when we've taken the last objective, I can control when my next wave of assault will be. So we can set the pace of the gameplay, and the defenders will get this whole experience for actually having to defend certain points. Or maybe even at one point we'll have them do a counterattack, and attack will become defense, and defense will become attack. But we don't want it to be like this thing where it's an itinerary and this is what's going to happen.
Sounds
really. This is what's going to happen. We want it to be that true.
Okay. I love it. I like it. Everybody's up for a new twist. It's kind of like these, people get excited about new AOs that might be cool, especially if they're malls or stores or big abandoned cities or something like that. Hey, I'm excited about a new twist on how to do your standard, instead of a standard regular MILSIM, hey, let's everybody beat each other up thing. We got something planned out here to give you a serious objective, focus, and it's not everybody, and each side's not trying to focus on the same thing. They actually have to do different focuses, which is going to be really, really cool. Really cool. So I'm excited for it. Like you said, he's not going to give too much information away. Are you going to tell us when you're releasing the tickets?
So the tickets are already live.
Oh, are they for Tiger's Cage? Already live. All right.
Yeah, they're the exact same price as Mini MILSIM. It's only $65.
Come on.
It's going to include your camping on Friday.
That's insane.
We have no plans for a night game on Friday at the moment. But if the field wants during the nighttime on Friday, they're more than welcome to do that, and I encourage them to do that. It's just we won't be doing it.
Oh, that's city is. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, and it's great camping. They got a nice flat field out there. That's just a small.
Yeah,
like,
I'm over the camping.
Walk.
Guess what? There's a great an Avid hotel across the street. You get free. Everybody knows the Avid hotel. Tell them Matt sent you. Matt Boyle does not have to talk in Avid, but he believes.
All right, that's Mr. Matt.
Hotel.
Yeah, he's
Over
burned out on
hotels.
it. Yeah, he's burned out on it. I get it. I did it too. I camped for Boy Scouts. I camped for one of my careers. I did camping, or at least outside overnights and stuff, which is brutal. So, and I'm also over 50 now. So I think it's a rule someplace. When you reach over 50, you're allowed to go to hotels every time. So
you start counting backward.
All right. So okay. Matt might interrupt me because he forgot something I also want to say, but we're past the 45-minute mark, and I want to tell you guys some more information. First of all, Grey Wolf Airsoft, my personal self, would like to shout out to B3 MILSIM. We were up there last weekend, just 4 days ago, up there for their great event. What a great bunch of people, and I invite all of them to come to. I invited personally, some of them I talked to about it. I want them all to come to this event in Big Indian. Those guys travel all over the place to go to events. I think they'd really enjoy Big Indian, just like anybody who watches this video, because Big Indian Paintball has good people, good surroundings, great field, great characteristics. 5 tickets available per company that have been opened up. Evidently, from looking at the comments, some of the tickets are already sold of those 5 extra that were opened up. For Mini MILSIM 6, that's per company. And that's when they're done. They're done. There's no, well, maybe they'll release some more, bro. No, that ain't going to happen. They're done. You got to cap it someplace, and they're doing the responsible thing to make sure everybody has a good time. They're capping that off. Good for them. I'm really proud of them. Tiger's Cage Siege event at Big Indian. New concept, new feel to most airsofters, and I highly recommend it. And before I forget, I'm going to say it again. I thought I would forget. RC Airsoft is no longer going to be holding the Thursday night live cast. There still will be a Thursday night live cast, but it's going to be from Grey Wolf Airsoft, which I'm a part of. You're still going to see this pretty face, and we're going to have some exciting stuff this year. QN, make sure you follow on Grey Wolf, Grey Wolf Airsoft, their Facebook page, Instagram, all that, so you get the cues on what's happening for Thursday nights. And I have one more thing, but I'm leaving for the very last. What do you got? Anything, Mr. Boyle?
You take it away, man. I'm gonna check to see how many tickets are left.
I forgot to plug my computer's battery in. I forgot the computer. I may have to hurry. My computer's going to run out of juice here. So, real quick, I just realized I forgot to plug my computer in when I moved it around. Oh, I better do it now. It's down like 9%. Embarrassing moment number 2.
All right, so Ranger Company, there are only 2 tickets left for you. Dragon Company, there are only 3 tickets left for you.
Oh man, they're down to 2 and 2 and 2.
Company, you still have all 5 of your tickets.
Well, I'm talking.
Delta Company, you only have 4 tickets left. Iron Company, you only have 4 tickets left, and Militia Company, you have 5 tickets left. The outboards are coming out after the live stream.
I do, Ed. Yeah, I know you just Edward King. I know you just personally messaged me. I do not know. That is not something that's decided. Well, it's usually decided way ahead of time, but with Stryker, you never know. So we'll find out soon. While he's announcing that all these tickets, this 5 extra he put out per company is already starting to sell. There's 2, there's 3, there's 4 left out of the 5. Message your buddies, call them, tell them to grab those tickets because they are disappearing. And I want to show you this. After we get off here tonight, I'm talking to Mr. Boyle about something. Something I have an idea for that I really want to take off, but I'm going to talk about it next week and the week after that. But here, I'm just going to give you the tip. Oop, I better put that on big screen. I'm just going to give you the tip. Just a tip. All right, where are all the tip jokes? I'm giving you just the tip. It's just the tip. This is just the tip. Look how big it is. I wish that my own hand's in the way. There we go. That's how big just the tip is of something that I'm making. And I've already made other components, but this is just the tip. This is the tip of a bullet. And it's not just, this isn't just the bullet. No, this is just the tip of the bullet. The bullet's like this big. So, something I'll talk to Matt later about. I'm hoping I'm going to still put together. It doesn't matter with Matt or whatever. I want to introduce it in the series over the next few weeks. So everybody keep cued in on that, because tonight, just remember, I gave you the tip. I just gave you the tip. That's all I gave. And you didn't ask for it, but I gave you the tip. The tip only. Okay, so now that joke's old, that's all I got. What about you, Mr. Boyle? Is that it?
I have received 6 more messages since the live stream started saying, please stop sending me invites to the coalition planning page.
No, it's some sort of a virus or a Facebook hack or something, because I received them too. If you're getting messages inviting you to the planning groups for Mini MILSIM 6 and it's from Stryker Airsoft Industries or Stryker events, just forget about them. Skip right over them. They're not doing that. They can't do it. They're not even admins for those pages. So it's just a spam. Not really spam. It's like somebody trying to troll and make things worse for you. So
I'll figure it out. I'll probably have to make the group private. So all you guys on green, you're gonna have to manually let everybody in, because I'm gonna have to turn the group private.
Oof. So anyway, and that's it. I guess I'm done. Is Stryker events done? I don't know. Stryker events done. Check out that super sexy thing right there. Stryker events. Yeah, I did that. Anyway, just want to show that off. Anyway, I'm done. Mr. Boyle, say goodbye.
See you guys.
See you, everybody. It was really great seeing you. See you next week. Remember, it'll be Grey Wolf Thursday night. Talk to you then.